Hello everyone, Felix here. He can't keep getting away with his brew hasn't started. Okay. I had to get a lot of people out of the house. Okay. Oh my gosh. Ah. I'm already getting called out. Hi Clanker, you're gonna be mentioned earlier. I was gonna mention you. Hello everyone. So before I get into the extra funny stuff, some part of me is hoping that Seki finds this. Some part of me hopes that he doesn't, for obvious reasons. You know what? I'm gonna get a lot to rant, a lot into the rants and the weeds of today. First off, you're gonna notice, especially when we get to typing this thing out, you're gonna notice some very conspicuous typing noises, even louder than usual. This is because my laptop is broken. Um, it is broken specifically in a way that, it is specifically broken in a way that I cannot close it properly, and I cannot use the keyboard or the trackpad. I have, I have a Bluetooth mouse, which I have been using the whole time, which thankfully still works, and I have plugged in this. Um, I have plugged in an ancient Dell laptop keyboard. You hear that, guys? Are you hearing that? Hello, yeah, hi Clanker. But yeah, man, okay, so um, but yeah, that's going on. Hopefully, I can replace that as soon as possible. Um, hold on. But yeah, I hopefully I get to replace. I have to. I'm able to replace that as soon as possible because that is getting that like using this is not entirely fun. Not entirely fun. um. So anyways, but yeah, that's been what's going on. Besides some odd choices of Twitter posts that I'm gonna rant about before we get into stuff. Um, where do I start? Valentine's Day was quite good for me. It went pretty well. Went pretty well on my end. My command let me out, let me do my thing, get some people together and all that. That was, I did my job that night, and I'd say it went pretty well. I'd say it went pretty well. Um, things outside of that have been happening. Normally, I don't talk about say so Felix religious things here, but I do consider myself religious. I do partake in that. Yesterday is what was a holiday for my kind, and normally it's supposed to be a fast day. You're supposed to fast on that day. You're not supposed to have anything, no big meals. Like abstain from things that you don't need. Like fish is the only meat that you're allowed to have. Well, I did something that was not recommended by the church, and I fasted a little bit too much and too hard. It, normally the fast is supposed to be just a part of the life, and you're supposed to go on with it and just deal with it. What they didn't count on was me screwing up and fasting a bit too hard because my life is already screwed up, and I forgot to eat dinner last night. That isn't that fun. I think I mentioned this on stream before. That's a really bad habit that I've been getting. I have I have not. Oh, I have. Let me move chat. I have not been. I have. That's a really bad habit that I've been getting into. That I should get out of as soon as possible. I need to eat. I've been like, and that's why I had breakfast because I didn't have because I don't have dinner. Oh, jeez, I gotta fix myself, man. Unironically, that is something that is in order. I got like I fasted in a way that was not approved of, aka I forgot to have dinner by entirely by accident because I fell asleep. And Clanker told me last night I should go to bed. Yeah, I should have taken his advice, but that being said, I was outside of my house at that time, so I couldn't exactly leap into bed. He told me that yesterday. And he told me that yeah, he told me that yesterday. Anyways, are you guys hearing yeah, Lentark, let's go, yeah. Question, are you guys hearing whenever I do this? Are you hearing the typing? Does it sound like a typewriter? That's the external keyboard from literally 2005. I think that's when we got it. I'm not sure. I physically could not skip a meal. My body would throw a tantrum. See, see, Tantiok, like you're probably more in need of skipping a meal than I am. Not to be insulting, because you know I love you. You're probably more in need of skipping a meal than I am, judging by our differences in. I'm meaning to skip dinner some days, but then again, I've entered my old man era. You're still growing. I don't say I'm still growing. Like I'll be 23 in a few months, but yeah, to me like I should not be skipping meals. Absolutely not at this time. I should not. That is not something that should be happening. But Danciak, you look like you could give up meat or carbs for a little bit. Well, stay on the fish though because meat is good for you. Meat is objectively very good for you. But I don't mean to be too mean, but like we're all here to get stronger together. But yeah, I was late. I did miss my 6:54, which I had already moved a lot. I had to shower and shave. I have to keep my pretty boy I have to stay my pretty boy self on here. I have to do that. So I have to make sure make sure my I have to make sure my face matches my PNG in terms of pretty boyness. Dancia. 23 to post 25 make a big difference. That was fun to find out. But yeah, you want to know Felix has schizo moments. I'm having schizo moments now. So, yesterday, I think it was Tuesday night when I went out to take out the trash, which was Fat Tuesday. Had big meals that day. When I went out to take out the trash, I noticed there was this like, was it an Altima? No, it was a smaller. Was it a smaller Nissan? It was this little Nissan sedan. It was beat the fuck up to hell. Sitting outside my driveway. I took out the trash. I threw that away. This was already pretty late at night, so like having like a car stopped outside was suspicious. So I was paranoid that night. I got paranoid. I saw M. Pregan instantly tried to ban bro, but I'm not a Channy. You're sad. Yeah, cry about it. Cry about it, Clanky. No mod for you. I'm not big enough to have a. I'm not big enough to have a mod. But yeah, there was this like suspicious looking little car that was outside the driveway, and I kept like staring at it. It drove a little bit. It kept staring. It drove near my neighbor's house, but it didn't stop. So until it drove off, I kept staring at it. And then it drove off. I was paranoid as fuck that night. I was like, am I being gang stalked? Are they looking to rob us? Are we in danger? And so like I stayed up like half that night looking out my window, checking for vulnerabilities in the house, and then this extended for like another day. And then when I woke up after I was having breakfast today, like that day, like today, delivery guy came up to the door and dropped off a package. I deadass took a knife out of the drawer, and like held it there like sounds like someone's breaking in like from fucking Black Ops Zombies. Sounds like someone's posting cringe. Just a delivery man, Dick. Sit down. it's just it's just a delivery man. I'm trying to do the JFK accent. It's just a delivery man, Felix. Sit down. So, like I'm schizoing out. I'm like, is someone gang stalking us? Are we in danger? Are there robbers that I have to like? Do I have to fast track? Do I have to convince my dad? Yeah, we needed that Remington 870 yesterday and the day before. Are we gonna have to fast track the real the family gun owner arc because I don't know, like people don't do that. I don't like if they wanted to stop, they would have just rolled up all the way to the stop sign at the end of the street and just stopped there. You could have done whatever the fuck you were doing anywhere else. Why, like when I walked out of the door, that car was staring at me in the face. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good look at the license plate, and I didn't get a good look at the driver. But that has me on edge. Anyways, so in regards to other rants that I have before this, you might be the first guy I know who does a better Nixon impression than a JFK one. Sounds like someone's breaking in. It's just a storm, Dick. Sit down. I can't do a Boston accent good. I've been to Boston in real life. Unfortunately, no, I did not see Kirsha then, but I don't think I knew who Kirsha. Yeah, I think I did know who Kirsha was, but I didn't see her. I didn't unfortunately know Kirsha. But yeah, these tweets are here for a reason. This will become relevant in a second. I figured I should explain myself because this got a lot of traction. I have a rant in me that compares the synthesis of the heavily clashing cultures. Tumblr creates VTubers, 4chan creates VTubing fans, that was formed in the bubbling soup of the Western English VTubing to the global chaos of the 1990s at the end of the Cold War and East-West trade. Yeah, I did a big-ass rant about this. In certain servers, people who are aware of me ranting, this, I'm not gonna get too much into the political side of things here, like who leans left, who leans right. Well, it's kind of obvious when you mention who does who. But there is something unique. There is something dreadfully unique about Western VTubing in general, because this is about hold on, is the music too loud for you guys? Let's do a Kirsha impression. Hold on. Let me lower the music volume for you guys. That's a bit better. Anyways, but yeah, this, something about, like, my own thing struck me, and I guess I should explain myself. So, for those unaware, I guess it should be pretty, like, aware if you've been around this space for long enough. If you know VT, like if you've been around FaZe at all, even Hololive, it was pretty evident. The indie, like the Western VTubing space is built on the backs of both Tumblr and 4chan. Without 4chan, like this would never have become popular. Like I remember someone saying like years ago that VTubers don't have a lot of traction on Tumblr because it is about exposing the a side of Tumblr that it's about fems, like the Tumblr femcels have been they have been an integral part of Western VTubing since it started. You cannot have that without them, and someone observed that they have they're like that because they are not as responsive to what to VTubing because it is about women like them exposing a side of their personality and lives that they would rather have not invested in, or like they would rather have not outlet outsiders. They would have rather, how do I articulate this? They would rather have not let outsiders know about their kind of tendencies, their kind of culture and subculture, their kinds of personalities. And VTube and Western VTubing is about putting that side of the internet on blast. That is on display. That is the makeup of the average attractive VTuber. Even those who have spent time on 4chan, yes, your Oshi was on Tumblr. Your Oshi originally originated from Tumblr, whether you like it or not. My Oshi did, your Oshi did, everyone's Oshi did. That's a point. The fact that a lot of phase girls, like a lot of phase Gen 1 origin girls were literally created from Reddit. Literally came off of Reddit speaks volumes about that kind of thing. Um Guess who's now full of fried dough? Me. How you doing, Felix? Holy shit, yeah. Was it the donuts, space missiles? I mean Foxtrot? Was it the Polish donuts? But yeah. Your Oshi came from Tumblr. That is an abject fact. If you're a Western VTubing fan, this is only applies to Western VTubing, not as much. Well, it can partially be extended to if your Oshi is Filipino, if they're like connected to parts of the internet like Indonesia or Malaysia. It's still it still might be Eastern, and it still might have its own unique culture, but because of the nature of the internet, they are just as likely to come off of Tumblr or Reddit. Yes, your Oshi did. If your Oshi did come from. Hi Felix, how are you? Hey Rez, I'm doing quite well. I'm doing a little bit of a rant about this specific post of mine. But yeah, this this is about that. A synthesis of the heavily clashing cultures that was forming the bubbling soup of Western English VTubing to the global chaos of the 1990s. Well, now we're covering the 4chan part. 4chan would never, VTubing would never, and I mean NEVER, have become popular in the West, in the Americas, without 4chan. Yes, Hololive Myth was an integral part of it, and without them, it would never have taken off. But the foundation of a lot of indies, a lot of corpos, generally everyone on the EN VTubing side comes straight from 4chan. And again, these are two very different cultures. Reddit, Tumblr, and 4chan, specifically Tumblr and 4chan. They have I was not old enough to have seen the Tumblr 4chan wars. I'm sure I'm sure Clanker, you've seen them. You're an old model of you're an old model of T-Doll. You've seen that. You've seen them. You've been connected to the internet that long, but I was not there to see them I was not there to see them with my own eyes. But something very peculiar about that, these two sides that culture-wise despise each other. They're yes, there's memes about them teaming up from time to time of 4chan is the chud boy, Tumblr is the femcel girl, and they eventually fall in love and all that. They do in a way when it comes to VTubing, but the fact of the matter is these are two diametrically opposing sides. East and practically Tumblr is the East, 4chan is the West. Never the two shall meet. That is the nature of it. They are rivals. They are rivals against each other politically, socially, culturally, economically, in every sense of the word. They are direct competitors, and they people of one side are not welcome in the other, and that is just a plain fact of it. But the majority of VTubing fan culture stems from 4chan, and at least the Western version of it stems directly from 4chan. It they created the board, they created an entire board for it, VT, which I swore off years ago. Doomed Yuri. Well, it's doomed hetero because 4chan 4chan is a girl only when it comes to Gamergate, which I will bring up later for unrelated reasons in a way. Nobody talks about the collapse of the main anime shitposting space r/animemes in 2019 because of language control BS. The early Hololive Reddit was formed from a diaspora of that community. Yeah, that kind of thing. Um, Reddit's kind of a shithole now, and I refuse to only search it from like Google searches. I don't search subreddits by themselves anymore. I used to be semi-active on Reddit, but even then, like there was politics fraught everywhere that I just wanted to avoid. And funny enough, early on when I became like a FaZe fan, no, I think even before that on like yeah, I was I did track VT. I was on VT, and it was not pleasant. It was not a it was like it kind of like broke something in me that I basically swore off coming back there ever again. I have been tempted ever since to like go back there and see what's going on. Um I'm probably gonna stay off. Like I have been very tempted, but there is a non-zero chance I come back. But staying out of it is probably for my best interest. But something Seki, who is going to be a subject in today's little writing exercise, told me when I provided my thoughts on like the whole like unicorns and gotcha coins and all of that is he told me, yeah, like if you look, an example I provided was like racists, like unironic racists on Twitter, like genuine full on hate boners because I am a minority. I do care about I do have to care about that kind of thing. I don't what again. I don't want to go too far into politics, but here's my example. When I went on, I just assumed half of these guys are going to be bots. Half of these guys are just glowies and agitators, just trying to stir up shit to like demoralize people. No, you come to realize with how many of them there are. No, these are real people. These are real people who hate you, who would probably hate you if they knew who you were. That's just the fact of it. That's what the internet is. That's the internet unfiltered. You go on VT and you see this amount of people who are unironic unicorns, gotcha coys, people who hate male VTubers, people who are like self-hating sexists towards men because they can't handle that their Oshi might be interested or might be straight or might be for someone that isn't them. You see that, you see their gatherings, and you have to realize you have to come to the conclusion and really feel like, yeah, you watch a Parrot 4chan video and realize, yeah, unicorns and gotcha coins are in fact that prevalent. Is this a healthy mindset to have? Absolutely not. But it's kind of intertwined with the culture in a way that you cannot really eject. If you build your brand on that, don't be surprised if people push back when you start pushing back on them. Again, like Seki had a good point. Kill parasocialism early. Again, I'm fine with like GFE, BFE, lewd tubing, that kind of thing, as long as it's like as it's understood to be entertainment. The streamer is not your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your real life best friend. Although for some of you, I guess it might be different because I do value you as friends. But if you look for Sekis and some of the other bros on VT, you find people complaining about those assholes who raid Pippolimau. I don't think there has been a bigger, more influential containment breach from that website onto the broader internet. Low-key, I never cared for VT and my Filipinx lover boy. Shut up, man. But yeah, it's that aspect because these two sides, again, like Tumblr and 4chan are diametric foes, like diametrically opposed to each other. They're at each other's throats in their heyday on the internet. Politically, socially, culturally, and Western VTubing is the coalescing of those two cultures in the wider space, out in the open. That is the that like we have turned from. And that's what struck me. This is the 90s chaos at the end of the Cold War because the Cold War was won by one side. Well, in this case that doesn't really apply, but like it was in a way that the resentment between those sides it never really went away. Just because one side collapsed doesn't mean that side doesn't hate the other. And and because of the because again, I'm a geopolitics nerd. I get really interested and autistic about this. It's a passion of mine because at the end of the Cold War, normalization of relations with groups because the example was the Soviet Union and the U.S. Later, the Russia and the U.S. because the Soviet Union just died. That didn't mean there wasn't some resentment between them, between those or tensions between those two sides, and those two were still as likely to get in conflict, even with the reduced threat gone. It was the chaos of the night. Again, I was not alive to see the '90s, but it was this distinct brand of chaos that you hear about from reports from that time in history that you can really relate to when and the globalization of trade in that way because all these formerly communist countries, or at least communist countries that became semi-communist, that China and Russia opened up and started trading very openly with NATO and the West and the United States and America and Europe and all of that. And that chaos of trade. If you ever seen the movie Lord of War, you know how easy it is for things from one country to get to another, even illegally, whether it be drugs, guns, people, all that kind of thing, or blood diamond. You know how chaotic the entire third world was, or even the first world was during the '90s, and it's that culture stemming from that can be really easily applied to the example of Western VTubing because again, there are sides that resent each other, but now they depend on each other for each other's survival. 4chan can no longer 4chan can no longer survive without their Oshis. Tumblr can no longer survive without their fans. That's the truth of that is the truth of it. They cannot survive without the other, despite hating each other, and it's breeding such this interesting culture. No matter how base your Oshi was, she probably came from Tumblr. If you have a male V2, if you have a male Oshi, no matter no matter where he came from, he probably came from 4chan. Yeah, despite 4chan's hatred for males, for at least male VTubers, and that aspect of it really struck me. And you have all these minor groups the Hololive, Nijisanji, even Phase Connected Self, and all these other groups like Idle Corp. You can easily draw comparisons to entire countries, to these corpos and entire countries of who have tried to emerge from the end of the Cold War victorious and victorious economically. It's all of that. It's all of that. And I remember that the example that I gave in private was comparing VTuber merch. What I said. And fans were if fans are inundated with the Israel, you have rising powers trying to claw their way into a seat of power: Israel, Iran, China, Japan, all of the analogs from the various sputtering VTuber agencies, and fans are inundated with the obsessive monetization of this new economy, the way a shipment of AKMs and a crate of FALs find their way into the hands of a West African warlord. Because that's how it is. You see VTuber merch everywhere. It is desperately connected to everything now. It is the fact that everything is mainstream, and that this is the most mainstream that these cultures are gonna get. They're next to each other, they hate each other, but they love each other, but they cannot survive without the other, and you will inevitably get ideological clashes as a result of that. And that's what I tried to mean. This is the most complex and diverse soup of people, at least the internet has ever seen. Unironically, that is my take. Dude, you had people in army regiments caught between the borders of Ukraine and Russia and literally got so skibbity. That's how the end of the Cold War. That's how weird the end of the Cold War was. Got so skibbity is a wild way to describe the end of the USSR, Lamau. Yeah, you got you like if you know about the fall of the USSR, they literally had a cosmonaut crew stuck in space, and they had to keep them up there as they waited because it wasn't politically like they weren't right politically to get them down again. There were cosmonauts up in space that were up in space when the Soviet Union died, and the worst part is that they got stuck there because they couldn't figure out a way to get them back down because Russia's primary spaceport is in Kazakhstan. It is in Kazakhstan. They cannot Baikonur Cosmodrome. Where is that? Um, Baikonur. Yeah, it's in Kazakhstan. Good thing I didn't. Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's in Kazakhstan, and so they couldn't Russia had to negotiate and they had to design new guns because all of their and new tanks because a lot of their factories got left in Kazakhstan or Ukraine or places like that, sometimes even Poland. A lot of their manufacturing plants were somewhere else, and they had to fix that. I tried to draw a map of the broader VTubing space with main overlap of communities. I have listened to Pippa the Rippa 100 times more than often than my country's national anthem for the past year, so that checks out. Like My Little Pony, you had old chanters who were edgy and new gens who were barely around for the old days, like legit anons and new gens who are fighting over chanting mayors. Maybe the best way to think of the broader VTubing community is the Latin America of the internet. We all come from the same cloth, speak the same language, and hate each other till some gringo starts talking shit, then we circle the wagons. Well, technically we are gringos. Well, Clanker, you're Brazilian, and don't they consider themselves different from the rest of Latin America because they're Portuguese and not Spanish? Yeah, they're Latino, but they're not Hispanic. They're Latino, but they're not Hispanic. They're Portuguese, just like how yes, Argentinians may be Latino, but they're also German. They're like they're also German. Argentinians are like a frightening bunch. They are scary. They are like Puerto Ricans and Argentinians are the people with the least amount of chill on earth. Like yeah, there's Chinese, there's Filipinos can have chill. Like other Asians and other types of people can have chill. Um Argentinians have a beautiful culture in my opinion, but they have you put Latinos, you put Italians, and you put Germans in a single pot, and you expect them not to blow their top whenever, and you expect them not to lose their temper when something happens. It's just, oh my gosh, it's no wonder they act the way they do. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. Why did I have a tangent about that? Brazilian bros cook with an exposed wire gas power shower. I was once friends with an Argentinian. He did not hesitate to call people slurs on a daily basis. 26 knows the lore. Yeah, because that is dangerous. You're running a live wire through your fucking shower head. um I was on VT to witness people talk mad shit about Cronies ASMR, then she never did it again, assholes. The animosity between Tumblr and 4chan is because IMO both draw from the general socioeconomic class, is my impression. Yeah, and they're separated by gender. They're separated by political ideology and gender, but they come from the exact same set of people who use the internet. They come from internet smart people who hate each other, but again, the reason why Western VTubing is such a phenomenon is because it combines those communities together in such a way. You have chuds watching fucking Amy from Phase Connect. You have you have someone who was on VT and Poll watching Amy from Phase Connect. That is the if you know how wide of a gap that is culturally, it is insane. It is insane. But anyways, that's going on. And there's this is another excellent, like, this is not my post. This is Synchros, but yeah, I'm gonna put the Have you heard the rat that Lumi is Chinese? No, she's not. I say that with like 100%, 1,000%. She is white. I say this as someone who isn't white. She is white. That is what I choose. That is what I choose to believe. There is no way this woman ain't white. It's just what it is. The rat was, oh, she's Chinese. No, because like, and your only assumption is that Lumi was lying about being a Russian, about being aggressively Russian, when everything points to it. No, that's what she is. She's a New Englander of Russian descent. Like, if she is at least 95% full blooded Slav. Anyways, that's my rant. There's been rats that I've been commenting about on Twitter. Oh, Lumi's Chinese. No, she's not. And regardless, regardless, she is still a very beautiful, if not a very infuriating woman. Raccoon Me is a great example of creator against creation. Just as Frankenstein only wanted to be loved and understood by his creator, nitpick, Dr. Frankenstein is the creator. Frankenstein's monster only has Frankenstein's name as a surname, only to hit by a wave of hatred. Raccoon Me exists as Lumi's most beloved bit, but that fills Lumi with unreasonable rage. This is because Raccoon Me is filled with pure hope and joy without the reservations of being a lemon woman. She is the Lumi representation of the indomitable human spirit, pure unadulterated power of will. This, in contrast with the pure doom and hedonistic Slavic nihilism that Lumi represents, is why Lumi hates her, because the dark can't exist when light is present. We can argue that Raccoon Me is the true representation of Lumi's human side, and trying to escape the eternal spiral of being a fat girl to become her true self, a path to the Uber Citrone, if you will. I think that's from Nietzsche. I haven't read Nietzsche because I haven't like. I had a Chat. I had a really bad impression. I had a really bad impression at the start when I was reading Nietzsche, because I had like this very ideologically motivated like teacher in high school for the critical thinking course, and he had us read Nietzsche, and I got mad because he was like he it was just like this whole rant about how the church is dead or whatever, or how religion doesn't make sense anymore, or God is dead, or whatever. And it just made me mad. And like I directly count like I in my essay that I had to write about like what we read from Nietzsche, I decided to directly try and disagree with him. And that was like openly called him out. And then I later realized in talks with my friends, more educated friends later on, that a lot of Nietzsche's works were transcribed by his sister, who hated the church and was also a literal Nazi, like a literal member of the Nazi party, who used his works as. Oh, hold on, is the VGM gone? Let me go check on that. I thought I looped it, but yeah, Nietzsche made me mad, made me mad until I realized his sister may have been the one that pissed me off, and I misinterpreted it as like a lot of people misinterpret Nietzsche as hating religion when he was just worried about the decline of religion and all of that. I know Lumi did another thing, going back to Lumi, she did a philosophy stream, and I choose to believe that stream was pure fucking rage bait. Again, she is literally the daughter of Russian nobility who were driven out by Marxists, and she decides to put Marx in like the S tier of philosophers, and she puts Saint Augustine and Saint Thomas in like B tier or whatever. I don't know where she put Nietzsche. I can't remember where she put Saint Thomas More, or who is it? Was it there's like all the other ones like Sartre, Voltaire, John Locke, Hobbes, and all the other people, and like Aristotle and Plato. And like I can't remember where she put them, but it was probably in some stupid spot like F tier or D tier. Like some of the and like some idiots like Sartre and like S tier or whatever. I choose to believe that stream was pure fucking rage bait. That's what it was. That was rage bait. That's like I choose to believe it. And the irony of it all is that Jelly, like, who is like one of again, Jelly love. I love Jelly. We love Jelly here. Like, justice for Jelly, because Jelly did nothing wrong. because ironic because Lumi and Jelly are really close together, like people, genuine friends. And Jelly has completely rejected any kind of philosophy streams because she regards it as fake and gay. It's just like it's such a dramatic split between them that I find immensely interesting. Lumi turned Chinese after getting the virus shot in California. As someone who is white, Native American on a good day, talks black, hangs out with Mexicans, and a 49er fan Muslim guy, whoever the fuck that is. Lumi is not Russian. She's Upper New Yorker. She is aggressively New Englander. She is a stinking Yankee. And I say that with love because I know because one of my friends in this chat, looking at you, Foxtrot, is an insufferable Puritan Yankee scum who is. I'm sorry, I say this as a yeah, I'm a brownoid, I'm a tribesman, I'm an Asian, I'm an Asian half breed Latino tribesman from the islands. I see it, but yeah, if God would did not intend me to be Southern, then He would not have put me here. He's a stinking Lumi is a stinking Yankee. That's what she is. She's a she's a Yankee. Is that fucker a Patriots fan? No, he's a New Yorker. He's a Yankee Puritan, yeah, with Puritan those Puritan sensibilities of the early colonists that turned up their nose at everything with the the New Englander type, the but never call me a Puritan. Yanks are here, SMH. See, I mentioned, yeah, Lumi's a Yankee. He's a Yankee. At least she's not a Californian. I can I have love hate with you Yankees, with you Yankees, and I hate it whenever a foreigner like a Britoid or like to like Australians and Irish and Brit and like English and Scottish and whatever and Welsh, they all call us Yanks because of whatever reason, because the first Americans they had to fight were Yanks. Well, I'm a Dixie, thank you very much. I don't care if I'm not white, I'm very brown, I am Dixie. It's what I am. The Yanks are coming. Run Midwest bros. Yanks are here. Bro is a Pats fan, a Bruins fan, a Sox fan. We are so bro is cooked. Lumi's philosophy, yeah, but Lumi's philosophy, who, okay, Lumi turned, hi Thami, how are you? Hi Thami! Bro, the JP bro simping for Lumi on Twitter is so fucking based. He's so fucking funny, man! He's so charming, he's like, white woman, I want white mommy! He's like, oh my gosh! He's a man after my own heart. He's willing to say things that I would be afraid to say. He's like, that Japanese guy who's obsessed by, like, being colonized by a white lady. And I say this again as a brown like man of foreign ethnicity, I completely understand. White women are beautiful. They're like they're beautiful. But yeah, okay. Going back seriously. Who the fuck made teenagers read Nietzsche? That's not even the point of Nietzsche. The teacher is dumb. Yeah, I could tell because he was very ideologically motivated. I heard him say things. That's how he was. IRC Nietzsche really did say God is dead, but I see it more as an expression of despair. The decline of religion he sees as more of a crisis rather than a good thing. Yeah, he identified it as a moral crisis because liberal Western democracy and the sensibilities of the West and are built on interdebates between religious people, and taking religion out of the equation and faith out of the equation means that you can no longer argue in good faith in that regard. As someone who quite enjoys the benefits of Western liberal democracy, it can't really have that without Western religion, aka Christianity. At least that's my take on it. Dixie, bro, you're Filipinx. I'm him. I am the it doesn't matter if I'm brown. I'm Josie Wales. I'm Joe. I'm Josie Wales. It's me, the bushwhacker. Felix, you aren't brown. The Spanish are Celts and Visigoths. We have been off. They are. I do have I like, despite me having some very Asian features, I do consider myself very clearly of I like some Iberian blood. Of some Iberian blood. I can't say why. I just know it. Okay, I just know it. And then, fun fact: my dad claims we're descended from conquistadors. Like of the specific one that he talks about, I'm not so sure. But if I speak more, I'll probably like say too much. But yeah, but we there's the claim that is like, well, at least one side of my family is descended from conquistadors, but I'm not entirely sure. But I know there's some part of me is probably European. But anyway, well, I guess I still qualify for for indigenous benefit because look how tan I am. Look how brown I am. But anyways, and that anyways, like continued rant that isn't the fanfic. This is gonna be another completely completely out of left field completely out of left field thing for me. Um Something I've been seeing, like, again, I usually don't talk about this like culture war kind of thing, but I guess it like I it talks about like it talks about things like it just like, okay, so this is gonna be an odd thing. This isn't connected to anything. It's just something that I picked up on. Something that I picked up on Twitter. Media not displayed. But it's the like this whole controversy about like Resident Evil Requiem and like how like people abhor fan service in AAA gaming anymore, and like how everyone is ugly now. It's like it's there was a good Felix, you aren't brown. There was a good post I saw that summed it up. Nietzsche essentially wrote himself into a mental breakdown, trying to argue that we need to find new meaning. At least I heard. Hasn't read Nietzsche. I haven't read Nietzsche either. I have to read more. I have to read. I need to pick up a book. That's what I should do. That's what I should do when I'm like, I need to pick up more books. We are all descended from conquistadors, bro. That's what the conquistador means. Yeah. But yeah, this we all need to get fed post on main from time to time, or we go insane. Yeah. But Resident Evil Requiem and that controversy about like it, like in general, I don't think this game looks good. It just doesn't. It's too grimy, it's too gray. Like there was some kind of vibrance or like some kind of quirkiness to, like, again, I haven't played Resident Evil, but it's something I might try to play on stream because I don't really consider them horror games. I consider them action games with like horror elements. I hate horror games. I will never play a horror game. Like I am like, you guys saw how badly I handled a Gmod horror map. I only do that to scare myself, like for content. I abhor horror games. I will not play them on my own time because it is something that is very I don't handle it well. I don't handle being scared very well, and I want to shoot the monsters. If I have a gun and I can kill the monster with a gun, then that's all right, and I can play, and that means I can play Resident Evil because the point of Resident Evil is killing the monster with the gun. That is the that I'm fun with. But so a lot of my Oshis, Rooney is a big Oshi of mine who's obsessed with Resident Evil. But yeah, like a lot of the leaks I have seen from Resident Evil Requiem does not look good. It just doesn't. Doesn't look good. Doesn't appeal to me. But it's something that struck me is this whole like the whole idea that companies hate fan service now. Companies hate of like applying to like everything is gonna be hot, like the male main characters are gonna be exaggerated, while all the female characters can't be exaggerated anymore. They can't even like be attractive anymore. And something it just really struck me, man. Um, like what we like the part of the reason why I think Dispatch got so popular the way that it was that like yeah, despite being a triple A game from like a major studio and like having some like big western game and all that, it still dared to make its characters, like its female characters, really sexy, really appreciable, really attractive, something that you could like really fall in love with. While like yeah, personalities need to shine more so than the character and all that, but it's fiction, man, and like you live in a world of fiction where everything has a right to be exaggerated. Everything has a right to be exaggerated in that sense. um like it's something like I have a lot of like I'm into a lot of stuff people will consider safe horny, like big muscular women, like big tough women, like how do I say this, women with meat on them. Like they can be a little bit chubby, they've got like a curvy figure and all that. Tall women, like older women, all that. Like I am genuinely into that kind of thing. And Reddit has ruined it because they have ruined they have made liking those kinds of topics impossible because it's all in the realm of safe horny now. It's all safe horny. Ooh, step on, like ooh, all that. It's just and like playing these characters in that way, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I can't stand it, man. I can't stand it. I hate it, man. I hate it. I hate doing it here. Well, like this is why I'm grateful for yeah, Dispatch is not a perfect game. By any means, I have a lot of issues with the game, but like I appreciate it and I appreciate Shift Up for like trying to like the reason why gotcha games are so popular now is because you can't find like good looking female characters anywhere else, and anywhere else that isn't a gotcha game or a dating sim or Stellar Blade, which is made by the guys who made a gotcha game in order to fund Stellar Blade. It's just like Nikkei. Shout out to Nikkei. You're not getting that anymore, and it's just preposterous, really. You see it from like Activision Blizzard, and how they treat Overwatch characters now, like the characters that despite the that's how it used to be. Like again, like maybe the Gooner, like yeah, you're proving if you don't want Gooners to be annoying on Twitter and like sexist, then maybe you shouldn't be proving them right. Maybe you should give them what they want. It's just everything has to be so bland and unattractive now because and like while specifically applying to one side of the gender that you are not like that isn't your core fan base when you can apply to them equally. Something that yeah, Dispatch waifu max like it was 1998. You can't under Hey Felix, the Tower of Babel is coming. You can't underrate the power of a good design appearance. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, you like this? You don't like most extreme and cringe example. Yeah, it's just like I like unconventional attractiveness, but they are making it unattractive. It's not fun anymore, and I'm tired of seeing it. I like big tough tomboys. I like the like unconventional female builds. I like that, but you are making it in such a way that it looks ugly. You are turning me off from it, and you are trying to virtue signal by saying, "Oh, I'm covering this element of the of fan service." It's not. It's safe horny. And I don't want it to be safe. I like I can't even sit in peace. Hate these people, man. I hate these people. Fucking Redditors. Something I noticed is that like even just like the voice of a female character can do wonders. When I played Call of Duty last, and the like one of the few rare female characters in there was Captain Pelayo, U.S. Marine Corps Captain Pelayo, the helicopter pilot they have to the AH-1Z Viper pilot they have to rescue at the end of Shock and Awe before the nuke goes off. She like something that like I noticed. I don't know if this was intentional because I know she was like I know her like she's not fan service at all. She just happens to be a rare female character in a very male centric game, but something that struck me is like hearing that female voice throughout throughout shock and awe has a certain psychological effect on the player. Like, yeah, you're happy that you're being covered by your brother in arms if it was a man, but having a woman protect you, and like when you're doing the infantry sections and she's shooting out, or like when you're in the sea night and she's protecting you from the ground fire, like you're instantly attracted to her. This is a woman who's capable. She can handle herself. She's a helicopter pilot. She ain't afraid to kill. She's afraid, like, she's willing to protect you. And then hearing her voice, like, yeah, trying to be tough in distress on the ground, this tough lady who has been shot down. Now she needs your help. It is up to you. Go out there, go Rambo, guns blazing, shoot everyone in the way until you can rescue her. Like, I think having that, like, having a female like pilot be the one that you have to rescue is something that it's something that really, like a female player will recognize, this is one of my own. I need to protect her. She's one of us. I need to save her. And the on a male side, it equally applies in a different way. Like, this is chivalry. This is chivalrous. You need to you need to be there for her the way that she was for you. She was protecting you. You need to rush over there and protect her. And it's like, I guess the sound of the female voice really, like, it tingles, like it turns a switch in the brain that, like, you, like, even if she can handle herself, even if she was the one protecting you, you have to be the one to protect her. That's how, like, that's the rule. You need to rush over and save her, because it is an instinct. It is an instinct of the player, where not like nothing can, like, nothing should be able to stop you. Felix, I think you could develop the crush over a chick that both you and her got roasted by a nuke. No, I'm saying from a game design perspective. From a game design perspective, it really leans into that side of her. It really leans into that side of her. It really leans into that primal instinct that, you have to go get her. It's not just because of the mission. Again, terrible artists. Let me give you an example. Well, okay, that's not a good example. Again, like, are you not going to, like, if you're in a war with Tomoe Omari and then she gets shot next to you but she's still alive, would you not have, like, an extra instinct, like, yeah, she's your commanding officer, yeah, like, she's your sergeant and all that. Would you not be additionally motivated to crawl through that barbed wire just to save her, and, like, and that and take fire from the enemy machine gun nest just to pull her out of there? Like, yes, she can handle herself. Yes, she's probably tougher than you, but, like, there's still that switch in you, that shit, like, that chivalrous switch in you, that, like, that you instinctively have to go out and reach out and protect her. That's what it is. That's what the female voice does to a man, especially in, like, a combat situation or a war situation. Hearing that voice is something like, it flips that switch. It flips that switch. And that's something relevant to today's stream that I want to, because we're gonna have a similar situation in that. I was partially inspired. You're gonna have a similar situation in that. But yeah, there's that. And then, anyway, last rant of the day is me simping again. Yes, it's me simping again over a 3D woman. This is Gina Carano. She's an actress. I saw her in like one of the few good Disney Star Wars projects, aka The Mandalorian, and she was great in that. Let me tell you that. Oh my gosh, that is one hell of a woman. She's an MMA, like an MMA athlete. She's an MMA fighter, and she's an actress. And I think she looks great. I think something I just needed to talk about, because speaking of charming women, and later on, the female SCF trooper effect, also the bitching Betty effect. Men subtly react. Yeah, I was gonna bring up Bitch and Betty, but I didn't think it entirely fit because Bitch and Betty is not the one in danger. She is the one protecting you. I guess it'll, but yeah, men react more to female voice cues. You like it flips that switch in you. You have to go out and protect. Like regardless of who she is to you, it is on instinct. Like if you hear like a woman yelling, you have to go out. You have to go out there and do what you can. Like and that's what and that little detail in shock and awe I think means a lot. Yeah, Foxtrot is the right idea. Anyways, yeah, that's my little rant. I like her. She's a flesh Oshi, Gina Carano, good looking woman, very pretty woman. Can I be real? I shouldn't probably be talking about this because it's a very unsay so part of me. I think one of the few near wet dreams I've had. This is gonna sound creepy as hell. One of the few rare near wet dreams I've had kind of involved Gina Carano. That's like I had her on the mind. I had her on the mind, and you can see why. You can see why. Very good looking woman. She could beat the shit out of you, but like looking at her makes you blush a little bit because she's too good looking of a woman to like you feel scandalous looking at her. That's like that's my thoughts on that. Her Amazonian form has spawned many a tomboy enjoyer. That like and something else, but like outside of like besides her, I feel like have you ever like unrelated to all of this and I guess relevant to today's stream, have you guys ever gotten scared that you're typing like an AI? Like whether it be Twitter posts or like talking, like or writing a story. Have you guys ever been 3D woman? Boo! Amazing, yeah. Have you guys ever gotten worried that you talk like an AI? I've gotten like I've gotten that sense because whenever I try to speak eloquently, I get afraid. I get afraid that I talk like an AI because all of the way I choose to speak online, at least type posts. I feel like I have an unhealthy. I don't I don't I don't use AI very often. I don't ping Grok. I only use Gemini from time to time. I don't want to use AI, but I keep getting afraid that that I'm talking like them. I keep talking like the AI. But I guess that's a symptom of just things, just a symptom of how I operate and the way I type. Anyways, let me check some my Twitter notifications. Man, I have read so much fan fiction from the pre AI internet that I've never have to fear it. As someone who uses Grok fairly often, IMO, you're fine. Um, there's a certain cue. Everyone, I know the new tech. Your stupidity is all natural. We all ping Felix instead of Grok. Shut up. Shut up. Leave me alone. Um. Anyways, hold on. But yeah, speaking of which, I get like how did I even do this last year, man? I'm good at writing script pitches. I'm not good at like actually writing. I formed the idea of this in my head, and now I'm scared to write. At least like Seki might see this later, and he's gonna like hate me again. And Clanker is gonna see this. Clanker came up earlier because we were talking on Discord, and he he mentioned to me he like was like, "Oh, this thing was so bad." See, this one was a parody of Bond. This was a parody of Bond. This wasn't intended entirely to be like a but it would have intended to sound good to the layman. It would have intended to sound good to like to the layman to who wasn't familiar with it. And I failed in that regard because Seki hated it. And for good reason, because this was genuinely very bad. It was genuinely awful. That's what it was. But it put a dent in my ego because I thought I was cooking here and apparently I wasn't. Anyways, now this is Twitchy and Seki. Um, I'm your rival. Yeah, start just right. Just start writing at random. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Okay, hold on, Ariel. Let's get properly. Uh, well, okay. Okay. Why again? Why is this? Why is this? Why is this thing featuring Seki and Twitchy of people of why is this random weird fanfic featuring people I watch also featuring plane? Well, it's supposed to be plane. They're in a plane. The wind whistled over the wings of it's supposed to be this combined with like elements of that. X21A anyways, X21A. I'm trying to oh, of the C2. That's what we're calling it. Oh, mm. Of C21 diamond in the. You know what? Yeah, that's a good name. What's a synonym for salty? No, brine doesn't sound exactly what's a synonym for salty? I need like it's because they're flying over the ocean. Um did you do the tab before typing, Felix? Times New Roman double face. Oh my god, he went to US high school. I'm still not over that. We have gone from a year from Shippo shipping a man, Shippo shipping a man and his Oshi to his current situation. Don't think, just type. Let me pull up the thesaurus. Okay, you know what? Don't think. Yeah, yes, saline. Saline is what I was thinking of. Yeah. Oh, diamond. Dime. Oh no. Because how is it flying? Yeah. Yeah, I hope you can hear my typing, I guess, because it lends well to the typewriter feel. How and then I have to fact check myself because how like of altitude and swell. Anyway, if you don't hear it, oh, you don't hear my typing? Well, you're sitting in silence then, I guess. Um, or not instrument. I did know how this would start. I'm not. I need to work out the dialogue, but hmm. Stare, staring at her instruments. Yeah. Staring at her instruments. Well, normally my typing is very loud on my end, so again, sorry for like silent Felix here because I am trying I am trying to lock in. And sword don't hear it. Okay. Yeah, I don't usually write like this under pressure. No, I'm not. Another word for short because he's a Shota. Another word for short. That diminutive would be demeaning. How would I describe myself? Well, I'm short. Okay, average height cat. Shut up. You clicks back. Hmm. Because I don't think this makes grammatical sense. Hold on, let me read this in my head. Try to kick. Yeah. Sorry for the not saying much. I'm trying to get to the good stuff. Trying to get to the to the action. Sad imaging run by someone actively competent at some national surveillance agency might pick us up too. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't have much. Oh, it went back up to four now. Oh, I have eight viewers according to Streamlabs. Yeah, yeah. You signed on for something steamy for people in the thumbnail. No, this is a chance for me to have to spurg about to like drool about my autism. Hold on. Looking up shit. What would be? Hold on. What would be most at least semi likely? Yeah, this is the like this is the profile. General profile. Oh no, that's the previous one that I've written before. Where's the smut? Well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. First autism. First plain autism. Oh, we're getting to it. You wait. You just wait. Wingtip. Oh, Pratt and Whitney Pacific Missile Test Center. Oh yeah, I think I've been there. No, that's not where it is. Bomber trainer variants. Give me a second. This isn't what we're. Hmm. Yeah, I think it's plausible. I think it's. Yeah, I think it's plausible. They could have modified. Hypothetically, if it were to be weaponized AIM 47, but the thing is about hold on. We had the Falcon with the thing is this isn't an air interception aircraft. This is supposed to be defensive. So yeah, AIM 92. Those were supposed to be like stingers that they just that they just slapped them on the side in order to like you know so they'd have some kind of air to air missile armament if they were intercepted, which is gonna happen. It's gonna happen right about now. Um. Hold on. Let me give me a second as I paste the autism there as I paste the unfiltered autism. Five five bogeys. Yeah, the aim for Falcons it never had proximity fuses, huh? But yeah, it's like I guess this is like general proof that they could launch. They could. This is supposed to be firing an AIM-54, which is what the Tomcat uses. Again, this is like massively overkill, with what is supposed to be a cargo aircraft. So, um, feet above thousands of feet above mean sea level. Um, Low clouds. How like of cloud height. Average altitude of clouds. Mm, 5 yeah. of altitude. Thousands of feet. They're over the sea. Probably gonna be they're over the sea. Thousands of feet above mean sea level. So thousands. I already established they're thousands of meters above, but they're under the clouds. So mm, typical altitude 3,000 feet. 600 hundred. Hold on. Let me adjust. Hundreds of meters. Hundreds of meters. Now I have to look up radio etiquette. I'm cooking. Yeah, I'm cooking. I'm trying to cook. Yeah, no, cooking. Yeah, I'm trying to cook. Trying to cook here. Again, I'm sorry for the shit commentary. It's just like I'm trying to lock in. This is excuse me. Oh, did you hear that burp? Did you hear that burp? Give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on. Very incongruous music to what is happening on screen. Very incongruous music. Where is that? Hold on. Hold on. Combat. Unmanned combat aerial vehicle. Yeah, we're hold on. Give it a sec. Give it a second. The wing loom. No. Yeah. We love you, Felix. Thank you. Thank you. Um. Just a second. Just a second. Yeah. Um. Give it a second. The issue is finding one that's also is finding one that's a jet. Yeah, yeah, they're getting attacked by drones. Where the issue is finding one that's a jet that isn't like instantly gonna vaporize them. Mm, um, um. See how we see how we started and fumbled behind well into we love you. Well, I know I. No, I'm still. I'm looking at I'm looking at a thing. I'm looking at a thing right now. Let me go. Let me give it a second. Give me a second. Skyboard. Which would have the most sense of it all? Yeah, I think that's about right. Admit it, Felix. You have feelings for me. No, I don't. No, I do not. I'm just locked in. I am just locked in. Hold on. Give me a second. Removed and replaced by the removed and replaced by ECM equipment. 3 crews sitting under a frame canopy in the raised compartment, but side by side arrangement. Oh, nope, I gotta adjust that wire. Remotely operated. Yeah. Okay. So Mm. Yeah, I'm still trying to still trying to Still cooking. Hmm. Sounds like a typewriter in here. Not much in chat, but if Streamlabs if Streamlabs is to be believed, it's they have I have 8 viewers. Come on, you gotta yeah, we've been at this for 2 hours, but only I only started running for 1 hour. Should it be Larry or should it be his older brother? Should it be? Should it be? Wondering on wondering on which, if I should take it like that. Should it be Larry or should it be his older brother? If you know what I mean by Larry, then you're a real one. Um. mm, what do you guys think? I know you haven't gotten much engagement. What do you guys think? Eight viewers. Okay, it's still eight. Yeah, it still is. Should it be Larry or should it be his brother? That being, yeah, I think it should be. I think it should be his older brother. Or, yeah, yeah, we'll stick with Hold on, what was it? J79's on that one. Yeah, I guess it gets to keep these J85s. Yeah. Hold on. Still, hold on. No, that's the wrong one. Should I, something I need to, hold on, realize, like, Seki's seat doesn't have it, like, well, of course, both of them survive. Seki's seat doesn't have an, doesn't have an ejection port. Um, Ninth TRS was shot down by over East Germany by MiG-19 due to a compass malfunction. Ejected from the aircraft. 19th Tactical Electronic Warfare Squadron shot down over East Germany. Brief period of detention, were repatriated into the United States. Weather reconnaissance aircraft scrapped in place, temporarily stored. Because, of course, we kind of need him to live in this story. And give me a second. Give me a second while I work this out. Anyways, if for those unaware, um, this is the thing that was shooting at them earlier. This guy, you might recognize him from Ace Combat 7. These are the guys shooting at them now. So that's outlining that pretty well. Now I have to check. Yeah, I think both of the that term again. Um, yeah, what white noise? Can I actually say, having some readers' commentary on this, this kind of like this setup, this setup for a story of like one or more characters crash landing on an island because of some kind of military incident, and then they have to survive in the jungle. This was an extremely common like trope or like writing template that I would use when I was a kid doing creative writing classes. This was extremely common as something I would do. Like just like as a story template, just like to put together for whatever reason the teacher would read it. Well, this was like I'd read a lot of Hatchet. Like I'd read several books in the Hatchet series, and I think because of that, it influenced me to eventually like heavily inspired by that and like write elements of that on my own. I don't do that anymore, but this is a big return to form for me in that way. In that way, this was I haven't written like this in a while with this like trope story starter in a while, but it's almost nostalgic for me to be typing this out. And it does feel good in that way. It's really it's bringing back a lot of it's bringing back some memories. Genuinely is. Oh man. Yeah, Hatchet Kino. Yeah, got like what for whatever reason, plane crashes, boat crashes, lands in the wilderness, and like Hatchet was in the Canadian wilderness. So a lot of mine ended up being in some kind of like island in the Pacific. So this is a big return to form for me. Viewers. It still says 8 viewers there. I don't have a chapter name for this. I'm just gonna do it. Huh. Sorry about. Sorry about like again. I've been like mostly silent for the past little bit, and I apologize if anything from downstairs is rather loud. Still have to get to the part where you know what? I'm gonna try and finish what I intended to write down within the next 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna rate it a second because I want to know how I want to know how yeah, I'll rate it to the guy we're talking about here. Ringing in his ears. Still alive, prisoner. It's like he politely ignores when I say dumb shit in his chat and hasn't banned me yet, so you might be fine. If you like, this is gonna remain unfinished. Is the thing. I'm not gonna like. It's a good it's a good story starter. I might work on it like if like as a general exercise as a general exercise as I keep going, but you know. Oh, hold on. Um, Hopefully that didn't. Hold on. Give me a second. I accidentally hit inspect element. Hold on. Give me a second. Um, I don't. Hold on. I don't think that revealed anything too sensitive. So, okay, good. I accidentally hit inspect element. We'll repair. Hold on, is that? Never mind. This is this is more. Should I? Oh. so we're get, so we might get a little bit more spicy. I'll rate it him soon enough because one of my this is one. It's one of those moments where you realize, what the fuck am I writing? What the fuck am I writing? Tags drug use. Give me a second here. Hold on. No, no, hold on. No, she would know about that because that she. Oh, hold on. Are we still going? Yeah, we're still going. Yeah, two. Is there still it's still two people in chat? Still it's still claiming there's eight viewers. Hold on. It's it's colors. It's- yeah, yeah. This was not pre. This part was not pre-planned. And like most of this, most of the rest of this like opening was planned out in my head. This was not. This was written on the seat of my pants, and I think. Are you still there, Clanker? Are you seeing this? Okay, this. Okay, okay, hold on. Let me go find it. Let me go fucking find it. Hold on. Did Thami delete my message? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I think yeah, I think Thami deleted my message notifying Seki about this. Hold on. Let me go find Twitchy's message. This was a request. This was a request by Twitch. This originally wasn't going to be part of the story, but I decided, you know what, she asked for it, so it's not gonna be a fucking kokini. It's not going to be a fucking kokini. It's not gonna be a fucking kokini. He cooks. I can't say that. Hooks, thank you, Clanker. Is complexion the right word, or does that only apply to does that only apply to the face? Face. Okay. So this is even worse. Instead, he has to ask that question. Ah. That's the worst part. Do not do this. Do not do this in real life. Do not try this at home. Do not. Yeah. Yes, I'm still going. This is how long have I been going? Yeah, I've been going 3 hours 21 minutes. I have lost track of time. I did not think that this isn't that much writing for hours. He cooks. Yeah, I'm trying. I keep cooking. Hmm. This is where I wrote myself into a problem. Is where that what the hell are they gonna eat? I think I'm gonna have to end off very soon, and in maximum asshole fashion, I will be rating it a Seki. I'm gonna leave off here. All right, we got down 5 pages. We got down 5 pages. That's not bad for 2 hours and a half. Anyways, thank you everyone who came. Thank you everyone who came. Hold on. Let me go scroll back live chat. Thank you everyone who came. Thank you Clanker upstairs. Thank you Foxtrot. Thank you Terrible Artists. Thank you Dantioch. And thank you Rez. Thank you everyone who came. O2 love, and I will be seeing you with another Call of Duty playthrough on Monday, next Monday. Glad I got to be able to stream for you guys. Yippee! Yeah, because I have been at this for far too long. Anyways, thank you everyone who came. Utsu love, and I will be sending you to Seki because yeah, I don't think he's gonna be very happy with me, but it's the best way to conclude the joke of this. Yeah, this joke. Give me a second as I put that there. I gotta eat dinner. See you guys.